Okay, boom. We should be live on YouTube. Greetings, PT.
Yes, yeah,
How are you? How are you today?
yeah, all going well. Yes, hope all's well at your end.
L- Looking at you, I would say you are doing fine.
Yes, the same PHI, any fine.
That's
Yes,
it, as
yes,
always.
yes,
So today, that's it. We're gonna look at a few other topics. That's the reason of our presence here, full presence. Freedom concept. That's a big one because I think if it's not the most important topic that pretty much brings all the topic together is the freedom concept, because also if we look at the word freedom, it involves that maybe there is a dome and we have to free ourselves from that dome. Free dome, I know we say freedom, but we're just missing a little e at the end
yes,
anyway for the ether maybe. But
yes.
maybe PT, you can extend on the freedom concept and how important it is for a being during the time we're on earth to maybe have access to that freedom eventually, and how to get there
The thing
really.
is, the only real freedom any being has got in a human body and human form is what actions are they going to do, the choice of actions. You have a body and what you're going to do with it. That's the freedom. Okay. That is the real. And as far as the dome and that thing, that's like a physical thing. People think of some physical cage. Okay. But the cage is more of like cycle of birth and death. Like, even if you leave this body and then you come back and take another body, that's the cage. It's not the dome which is the problem.
uh,
Problem is this cycle under this firmament oath. Like, within this, trapped within this reality, not being able to escape this particular reality. That's all. And the way to do that is to use your freedom of action, choice of actions wisely. So, like right now, being is there with this body, they're free to do whatever action they want with this body, right? That's the freedom, basically. Real freedom human beings have. Your attention, where you put it, what actions will you do with your body? Both are actions only. So freedom is a freedom of action only, basically. That's
because if we go by what the Babylonian have put out there as a freedom definition, often we find ourselves like here in Canada, there's a chart for it and stuff. So we have the word freedom very defined. So it's hard for someone that is not looking for an extra kind of freedom to
yes.
really grasp the whole thing with
The freedom
freeing
is
your
there.
soul from this
Yeah.
realm and stuff.
Yes. Because for that also you need to use your freedom of action. Finally, freedom of
Yeah.
action is the main action. Freedom, like freedom of choice of action. Like right now you are there. After this, whatever you want to do, you can do with your body. You know.
Yeah,
So like that is the freedom, and what you choose to do with your body is your choice. That's the freedom which each human being has, in this plane of existence. And you have to use that wisely in order to gain more freedom outside of this plane. So,
that's it. Simple.
yeah,
Okay. And also, it's a bit crazy to claim something that is called freedom, where nothing is really free in this realm.
yeah,
Nothing is free with money, yeah. And
yeah,
also, the animals are in cage. Everyone's in cage. We live in a cage. So,
yeah, yeah.
well, it sounds a
Yeah,
bit weird when you
that's
hear the
not real
word
freedom.
freedom.
That's why I say only real freedom is your freedom of action, the next action.
Yeah,
Circumstance is the cage.
yeah,
Okay, your circumstance is the cage. Okay, and within that circumstance cage, you have free to do your action. That's
okay. Okay, my next topic is astrology, but we have talked about it before. But I just want you to maybe to extend on how important it is or how important it is not for someone. Because my example, my experience here, I look at the stars. Yeah, it's very fascinating, but I barely overstand or understand or understand what's going on here in my head with the words on earth and stuff. So how much energy should I put during my living days to should I focus on what's going on here on earth within me and
Mm.
try
And
to
so- so-
focus on
yeah,
what's happening here in this realm,
yeah, yeah.
or should
The
I also at the same time given it,
okay,
because you are at
okay.
a level where you have achieved that kind of stuff, to look at the stars, and you have books
I
about
get
it.
the picture. Like
Look,
for
I'm just being
the
honest from
yeah,
my
the fact is that obviously astrology means star logic, right? Star logic.
yeah,
Okay, in astro and logic. So the point is that fact that you're a human being here, and these stars, when you're born at the time, they have a logic which affects your life, which means it affects your circumstances. Okay, that's a fact. Okay, this is just a fact. So just knowing that much is enough. You don't have to learn that logic. You don't have to that thing. Just having a knowledge that this is the fact, that's enough. Then you can carry on with the actions which you need to do to get out of this or improve your situation. You can have evolutionary actions or you can have devolutionary actions, two kinds of actions, okay, which devolve and which evolve. So you can choose evolutionary actions. So after that, you don't need to learn the star logic. Maybe if you go to another realm and you have 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 years to learn that, you, if you want to learn, that's the structure of the universe. That's basically the structure of the universe. That's a long study, okay, which you can't, maybe it's not possible for human beings on earth right now with their limited lifespans to do that. So for them it's just good enough to know that these things are there and they affect you and they
yeah,
create your circumstance. But finally, circumstance does not matter if you are going to do the right action no matter what the circumstance.
yeah,
How does it matter what circumstance is going to come right now or in the future if you are focusing on your action only? So that's what the
yeah. Because also, if I look at the whole astrology thing, when you talk about the non-chakras and the houses and all that stuff, look, to me it sounds like I would need a doctorate, a doctor degree, to
yes.
almost, like, that's
Yeah.
what it looks to me,
But
because I
it's
have a human body. I'm not a
yeah,
doctor. I don't know how
you
it
see,
works inside, but
yes,
I can operate it and know a bit
yes.
what to
So the
do.
point
But
is, it's
yeah,
not necessary to evolve. Let's be very clear about it. It's not astrology is not necessary to evolve
okay,
or do evolving actions. It's not
okay,
necessary. It's just one needs to understand. Yes, there is something like that, and this logic is there, and this is all the thing called fate and everything. Destiny depends on stars, depends on your previous life actions. Just an understanding like that, which I've given in so many talks before you with you before. That's enough.
yeah.
There's no more study required of this.
Okay, perfect. Good. It's clear. Now, I want to talk also about something else, the sci fi war on us, because I received a lot of comments also talking about this, like, how do we do to not being swallowed by the bad forces that wants us to, because it's a war on our conscience, on our mind, on our, like, it's not a war on our yeah, it's a war on our body since we're born. I get it,
Yes,
but it's we're at war constantly, and that's why there's still, like, they
yeah,
change the time to keep us in war time and stuff like
yes,
that. Anyway, so how is it that someone doesn't get caught up in that sci-fi and that sci-fi of distraction also? And I
yeah.
know you said all the, often
That
humility, humbleness and stuff, but
yeah.
uh, it's
Like like it's important to be busy then with your own actions.
okay,
Like you have a body now, you are supposed to do certain actions with it in order to control it, balance it, center it. You have to do a lot of actions in just in order to bring that thing into equilibrium. Yeah. So once you understand that, James, in this world that you have to do all these actions, then automatically you don't get distracted. For example, any person gets focused on anything, then the rest of the things become unimportant to them when their focus is on anything. You know,
yeah,
like even a person who's playing chess on a chessboard and looking at the chess pieces at the time, they can't think of anything else except that, right? at that time.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is to develop focus in that way by work, you know, and working on yourself and your body and like doing practical actions, evolving actions. And then after that, you don't worry about what these people are doing or not doing, or what is going on. It is not of your business, because
Exactly.
as long as
Exactly.
you keep on focusing on your work, none of that can do anything to you. That's not your business, you know. So
Yeah.
that's, and once you do that, and you would be able to handle and tackle any situation which happens better, anyways, whatever situation comes in front of you, you know, you'll be able to cross that bridge when you get to it.
I have something else here. Another concept that's been in being inflated in the recent years. It's the artist concept. Someone that declare themselves an artist now because they have created a song on the computer in their house or whatever. Now they have one song on YouTube. They are an artist. Like, can you define what fits the definition being an artist? What is it for you, PT?
Axis,
Someone
AXIS, you're saying, yeah, isn't
what?
it? AXIS, you're talking about AXIS, axis.
Uh, artist,
Artist, artist, okay, art,
artist,
okay,
artist.
artist, okay. Like the thing is that there are different ways to actually distract yourself in this world, right?
Yeah,
And being an artist is one of them. Okay, because if you don't do the work, like the basic work with your body, centering, meditation, you know, doing what you need to do as a human being first, and you start doing any other action, can be any other action, which people call art. Sometimes people call it this hobby, art, whatever they call it. That will never work out for your benefit or others' benefit. So, so people have to understand what comes first. Does a foundation come first or a house comes first? Which thing comes first?
exactly.
So foundation comes first in any house comes later.
Yeah,
So once you're doing the evolving actions, and then you turn that into art, like your evolving actions, and when you shape those, then that is actually a rotation, art, a rotation upwards. Okay. Or if you don't know, if you're not evolving and you're doing evolving yourself, then whatever rotation you do, it's a rotation downwards.
yeah,
So so it can go either way, upwards and downwards, but depends on what you're doing first yourself. you know so if a being is evolving themselves and doing everything, and if they do something and they do some expression in the world, that rotation, that art will be for helping others go up to.
that's it.
Yeah. So
Help
that,
praise others and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. So it's the same. That's what the thing is by
That's what
definition.
it's all about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
help praise others. Something that I've heard recently, and I would like you to extend on it a bit, and the importance, or is it fundamental to have this in our society? Some have it already. Is the social credit, like Canada has it in place already. Apparently, I've never been there, but I heard about it. But they want to bring it to Canada, to the. I think it's gonna go pretty much everywhere. We already have the financial credit score, like
Yeah,
give you a
yeah,
score if you pay your bills or not. And
yeah.
then now they want to bring this to social credit. So sometimes I say to myself, okay, it's another. Of course, they want control over us any way they can, but could it be a good thing for a society to have a social credit? Let's given the fact that
Um,
we are so many beings now
I,
on
I,
Earth and stuff. How do we go about that?
it's like you can, like whenever you're trying to make a system like that, you're trying to make a cage system, like whichever beings are trying to make a
Yeah,
cage system like that, where you want beings to go as per their agenda, whatever their agenda is, so that if you follow that agenda, then you are a good person, you get more score, and if you don't go by their agenda, you don't get a good score.
yeah,
you know but that kind of thing will never work, because in reality, like whenever in a ideal society where beings are going, everyone is working for evolution and living like that, you won't need something like that. That's,
yeah.
right? Because everyone will be that thing, and everyone knows what credit to give to whom, anyways, depending on what upliftment they're doing for themselves and others. Okay, so you would not need any such system in an ideal society. Ideal society being a society where all individuals beings are working towards evolution, and nobody's working towards someone's revolution. So that is,
That's it. And,
yeah, 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 yeah.
because we have, like I said, the financial credit, so it's not a huge thing, in our head. When we hear social credit, we're already trained from many years with the financial credit score,
Mm.
with here in
Yeah, yeah,
CHAX or something.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so it wouldn't be that. That's why I'm saying maybe
Because,
they have trained us to, prior
because
to
this
this
whole,
social credit,
yeah,
accept the financial credit score and stuff, and then we
yeah,
say,
because,
oh, why
yeah,
not the other one?
yes, because the whole society is running in a totally wrong direction in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so when everything is going wrong, a lot of wrong things will come forward and more too, because it's not a sustainable system. This society is not a sustainable system. So you have to keep on making changes somehow to keep it going. When the whole thing is always falling because it doesn't work on the basic principle of evolution, that every being out there works for their evolution. And that's the whole point of human birth on earth. So if you go away from that point, then the whole society becomes very crazy, and this is part of the added craziness which is coming. That's all, which is
Yeah, it's craziness on top
there.
of craziness.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. It's listen. A child born in nature doesn't need the social credit.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, it's just another level of the madness of the system. It's just,
Yeah. Now, a big delusion that we live under, and then we have talked about it, but I would like to bring it up again. It's the fact that we think that we are good. That most people think they are good. Like they don't. That's such a huge delusion, because I think that's the basic of our confusion is we think we are good people.
yeah, because the thing is, these kind of labels are the problem, like good, bad, label and stuff. Label, okay, because if you are working with for example, you are working on your own body, and you are centering yourself, or you are controlling yourself, and you're disciplining yourself, right? For example, like, it's not about good or bad. It's about you're doing something. You're actually doing something. You're disciplining yourself. Okay. Okay. So that's the point, Jim. And if you don't want to do that discipline, basically, you say like, I'm already a good person, so why should I do discipline, right? So that's a trick to get out of the discipline necessary to evolve yourself, to raise yourself. Okay, so I'm already good. I don't need to raise myself then, right? It's basically a way to not work. Like at the end of the day, it's very simple. Like you don't want to work, so you already give these labels and titles and whatever labels and stuff like that thing, and then you don't work. Basically. So some people can give the label bad also, and they won't work because I'm bad. So I'm already bad, so I don't need to do it.
Exactly.
So I'm good, then I don't need to do anything. I'm bad, so I don't need to do anything. Because that's
And
all it is. If I'm good, I'm good. If I'm bad, I'm bad. What can be done anyways? Like, so all of these are ways to get out of the work necessary to do, basically, as a human being, which you have to do to raise yourself. So these are tricks which the mind and the system and the words play on people, the labels, whether it's positive, good or bad or whatever, they all work against human beings. So at the
and
end of the
that comes to hurt someone also,
day,
at one point, when you live
yeah,
in delusion all your life,
yeah,
you come to lose the essence of you, the soul. You live, you, like, so often I say, when I talk to someone, like, let's say, for example, my mother, she has such a preconceived idea on everything. Like, her mind is really, really programmed.
yes,
You don't even know who you're talking to. Like,
yeah,
I don't feel I'm talking to that
to your person,
person
because
really. I'm
yeah,
talking to the name that this person have, but not the person deep inside. So
yeah,
often it's
because
very hard to
yeah,
establish.
so for beings to, because for beings are functioning on that shallow level of programming, the mind programming level, on the shallow level of the mind programming construct. Because they've not done meditation, they've not done the centering, they can't go past that shallow level of the construct. So then they can't even understand that they're a being, and they have to evolve all of these things. They can't do that. So obviously that's too shallow a level, which a lot of people function at, unfortunately, because that's the way of the education, lack of education in this world. That there's no education in this world,
uh,
so which
and
leads to all these kind of problems. Yeah.
you can tell so much. Just also, I can tell that phenomena just so much by listening, by sitting with Frank. I do those mid-station session with
Yeah.
Frank. Like
Yeah.
there's such a connection there. It's very very genuine,
Yes.
the exchange, and
Yeah.
I cannot have that with some other beings because I have to put like a fake mask or something because
Yeah.
they won't
Yes. Yeah, because that is
accept
at a
anything.
certain level of functioning, but that's a choice of beings. Again, that's a choice of that being, that they choose to function on that level. That's again a freedom of choice, which we came from in the beginning. That's how they're exercising their freedom, and by exercising freedom in that way, they're getting more trapped in the cage. So
But is it a conscious choice? Is it really
yeah,
their choice or someone else has chosen for them?
no, no,
Because if I go by my experience, PT, yes, okay, maybe subconsciously you choose to stay asleep. But I have never, like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's by choice, but I tried to go back in the past, and before I started to see clear and all the, before I started to see the big picture, I was like not so much interested in the world politics and all that stuff. But I don't think I was taking. I don't know. I didn't know
but
that I
like any
didn't know
choice
that
you're
I
making at
didn't
the time,
know.
see the thing is, for example,
So,
any being, human being out here at some point will realize that they don't know things, right? If they are honest, right? But if
yes,
you are
for
being
sure.
honest is also a choice, isn't it? To
Yes, it's a
decide to be
choice to
honest,
be
or
honest.
like you can just say no, shrug away, like no, it doesn't matter, like oh, I know enough, or I know enough to function, or whatever. You can, that's also a choice. So there are choices of, if those that choice was available to you, to change your perspective, right? So that choice is available to everyone else as well. That choice is available to everyone else as well, just like it was available to you.
Yeah.
Yes, but the thing was that you took that choice and you took a decision in that choice. Same way, there are these folks which beings come across, all human beings come across these folks, like this way or that way, all the time. And they make a conscious choice this way or that way all the time.
Look, I'm not a special one. I'm not just doing my thing here on YouTube. I'm very, very
Yeah,
down
like a
to
normal
earth.
person, every normal
But
person
is it
gets this
po-
choice.
is it possible that many are called, few are chosen? What is this? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
why just some of us are seeing clear and what's like right in front
it's
of
a matter of,
us?
see, first there is a difference. There are certain things called sanskar. Sanskar is a Sanskrit word. It means the things which you're bringing from the past lives. You this is not your first life right now, what actions you've done in this world. So you have done a lot of actions in the past. Okay. So those past things create a body of uh, your movement in this universe, like which direction you're moving in. So that's why, like, everybody's karma, what they call in the West, is not the same first in this life even. Okay. But once you come here, there are choices for everyone, no matter what baggage they're carrying from the past. You know, saying as a human being on this, you can choose a different direction any second. You know, so but for that you will have to consciously make a choice, and you that's where a lot of things help you in making the choice, being more honest, you know, things like that, which I stress in my book, you know, like please do that so many times, that kind of thing. That if a being, because everybody can be, you know, at some point. I've not seen a person who doesn't have the ability to do that. You know, they have the ability, but they just choose not to exercise that choice, basically, to do that.
And it's not such a big deal to open your eyes to
Yeah,
life, to
yeah.
open your eyes to the
It's not a
perspective
big
that
deal at
there
all.
might be some other
Yeah,
kind of
but
reality than the fake one you've been fed.
yeah, but
Like,
still, you have to make that choice. Little steps. You don't have to make a big step immediately. You can start with little steps.
but
Okay. Yeah.
PT, what I wonder is why is those people out there when they are when someone puts the fact in front of their face and very basic facts of life, that even that doesn't go through, like their mind doesn't accept it.
No, but even if they understand it's a fact, you know, they don't face it. They don't face it. Why they don't face it is because they're afraid of the work. If they face the fact, they will have to change. They'll have to change their ways. They'll have to change their everything. That work is the thing which says, they says, no, no, I'm fine like this because I know up till now what I'm doing. I don't want to change it. That's why they don't face it. Yeah,
So okay, so it's deliberately a choice from
yeah,
their part to not
yeah.
explore certain topics other
Yeah,
than
because it
the
needs
little.
change, because that demands something out of you. It's not just a talk for them. Then now you know you have to do something different. You know, if you like, if people go to the abattoir and that thing, and they like see how the animals are killed like that in that way, and it's brutal, then they have to not stop eating meat, right? Like they have to now do something from their side. You know, everything once you see, or it will require a change on your part and a discipline, right? Change requires what? Discipline.
Yeah,
And disciplined people out here on earth can usually do only when there is an external force, like an army, like a stick on you from outside.
a
Not,
tragedy or
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. Not
But
from inside. Yeah,
the
yeah,
discipline for me is not something. Yes,
yeah,
I need more. I get it. I'm not the
yeah. Yeah, but
super
that has to come from the inside.
guy
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
but
So beings are against that term discipline in the first place, internally. And when you're against the word discipline or that term, you will not face anything. You know, you don't want to face it. That's all. So first, you have to first accept, or like get comfortable with the word discipline. Yeah.
I think it's something you have to. It's like the first time you eat broccoli when you're young, you're not really. You put it aside, like the truth and facts and stuff. Is it
Yeah.
something you have to taste in small amount first to be able to like
Yes,
get the taste of
small
it?
amount,
Like, what is
and
it, PT?
small amount, and then develop discipline. Like the word discipline, you have to get familiar and like the word term discipline, and that I'm ready to do discipline. If a person is like I'm ready to do discipline, I think that being can face a lot of facts automatically, much more easier than a being which wants to be undisciplined. I think a lot of beings on this earth want to be undisciplined, and they don't like being disciplined. That's the basic core issue here, actually. So, so that's the problem. Like when you call, like, what's the that thing? Rest follows from that. I'm not saying this is everyone's problem, but I'm saying it's a problem of a lot of people.
And if they're disciplined, often they're disciplined in like that's it in
In,
the wrong
in the
direction.
wrong direction, yeah. Because
Yeah.
first they after discipline also you have to be open yourself to learning for evolution. Now you have discipline. Now you have to say like, okay, I want to evolve. I want to raise myself. That's comes the second part. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the reason why we're here. Why is it so hard to get for others? Like
Yes. Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah. Yeah.
I blow my
Because
mind out.
because the
Ah,
world provides enough distractions out there. You know, and when there's a lot of distractions, you have to focus. But focus is also a certain type of discipline. Okay. So you know.
you know,
And,
we miss the very, very fact why we're
Yeah, yeah.
here.
That's why, like,
And
I always say, like, connect with nature first. Connect with nature. Do something where you get some common sense into you first, and out of that common sense, these things will come. That you have to evolve yourself, and that's what we are here for. All these basic facts and truths will come to you. You know what I'm saying? Do the same thing. Do the meditation. Connect with nature. Do the all these basic grounding steps first, and which will help you face truths, facts, anything much more easier as a human being. You know. So, like, I would just say, like, take any step, like, even in the name of self-help, like, because these things are good for your health, like, work in any which way towards improvement, even if it's improvement in your one's health, whatever improvement you want to make, like, you know. So, but, like, just start taking steps, that's, and once you start taking those steps, the rest will follow. It'll build up on top of each other.
it's such a like it's a
Yes,
great fruit. It's a sweet fruit, the truths and facts and
yes,
of this world. For sure, any beings can cure. My next topic was addiction. I think you can cure any addictions with centering, meditation,
yes,
knowing the
yes,
truth and facts of this world, the
yes,
factual truths.
yeah.
Uh, I think
Proper
it
diction,
can cure addictions too.
proper diction means centered speech. Proper diction, no addiction.
That's it.
A, yeah, lack of diction is addiction. Bring in diction, you have a no addiction. That requires work again. Work with your speech, with your body. It's work. Finally, that's all.
Great.
So
We're gonna keep on keeping on the good work, and that's it.
yeah,
We'll see you again soon, PT. Just stay on with me. I would like to have a few words with you if you have 2 minutes.
yes,
So,
okay, yes, okay.
but for us, that's it for now. See ya. We're out.